Hi, my name is Sylvia Frost, and I'm one of the library faculty here, adjunct faculty at the Joe and Warren Buxton Library. And today I'm just going to talk a little bit about the time we brought Warren to campus and had a little video session with him. In 2012, we brought Dr. Warren Buxton to the campus and had a little video session with him in the southeast corner where a lot of art was hanging. And I drove over to his retirement home, which is nearby, and picked him up. And of course, there he was with his quintessential large cowboy hat and his bolo tie, looking very professorly. And he had a bazillion notes that he shuffled through. And Miguel Salcedo and his friend Monty, Miguel had done a bunch of video work on campus. And so we set up in the corner and got Warren doing his professor bit, but I also love that we got a lot of footage of him just kind of sifting through his papers and having little side chats. And but as a true professor, when he was on, he was on. He'd be like, all right, let's go. And then he was on. He was a professor at Gateway, before it was called Gateway, and before that, Phoenix College. In 1962, he was headed up the data processing before, those are some early days. And then he was faculty here at Paradise Valley Community College for many, many years. So in the videos, when Warren was talking about the pieces, there were just little pieces of blue tape on all the paintings. And the walls had been freshly painted. And so things got moved around and then put back. So the little wall tags that normally would give like all the artist information weren't there, so Warren had to extra rely on his memory and his notes. The very first piece that he collected before he even knew he was going to be a collector, it's when he was stationed in the 40s in the Arctic with the Air Force. He was, I believe, a meteorologist, and he was assigned an Inuit guide or a handler to help keep him alive in those conditions, named Anilik. And Anilik had invited him out on a walrus hunt. And Anilik caught the first walrus, and I guess it was customary for whoever caught the walrus to keep the tusks. And so Anilik carved a cribbage board that they actually used out of one of the walrus tusks and then gifted it to Warren. And then subsequent to that, years after, people from his time in the Arctic would reach out and send him gifts and contact him. So there were 3 other pieces, a nice bird, a bear, and then an Inuit man dragging a seal that he had just captured. And that essentially formed the very beginning of the collection before Warren even was aware he was a collector. They collected art in a number of ways, but one of those ways was through the Buck Saunders Gallery, which is in Old Town Scottsdale. And they would go Saturdays and hang out and talk to Buck Saunders. And during that time, various artists would come in with their works, seeing if Buck Saunders wanted to take it and hang it and sell it. And so they met a number of artists that way, and then subsequently they would track those artists down at their various festivals and fairs. And they were such good art patrons, they would go buy work that way. Warren would often, I overheard him saying that Joe was the collector, the eyes, and he just showed up with the checkbook. He loved to joke about that. But I think they were pretty good co-collectors, actually. They had bought one of Andy Sinogini's pieces. It's very dark with white lines on it. And they wanted to have a second one kind of to match it. And so Andy went ahead and made a second piece. And the first piece was 6 riders. So it's very large, 6 riders on horseback. And then the second piece, it's cute because it has 3 little riders from the original 6, and they're just kind of in the background there. And when Andy came to drop it off at their house, Warren and Joe noticed there was a car waiting outside with Andy's wife and a little baby in swaddling clothes. Warren later speculated that that might have been the daughter that grew up to be an art professor at UC Davis, which is what happened. She got her degree in art and art history, and now teaches Native American Studies at UC Davis. So there's a great piece that we have. We actually have a couple pieces of Michael Cabote, but Eagle, My Father is a beautiful piece. And Dr. Buxton was contacted by Professor Dietmar Benke of Heidelberg, University of Heidelberg in Germany, and he was writing a book about Michael Cabote, so a scholarly work about Michael, and he wondered if we could get him a photo of one of our Cabote works, and we found that we had the permission to do that, and so I actually got to take the photo of that. And then this book was subsequently published, Michael's Journey, and guess what? There's the picture of Eagle, my father, that I took. Yeah, so that's kind of a neat connection to the scholarship that happens around the art collection. We do have a number of books that Warren purchased and then donated to the library that kind of support on another kind of scholarly layer that support the art and the artists and the art genres.